I think there's a big difference between Ryan Garcia and Conor Benn. In Ryan Garcia's last fight, he managed to win his first world title against Mario Barrios, becoming the new WBC Welterweight world champion in a pretty impressive performance. He's currently 25-2 with 20 knockouts, and after thoroughly dominating Mario Barrios, it's clear that he is a threat to the welterweight division. It wasn't clear what direction Ryan would go in because he could either defend his title against a mandatory or try to unify against another champion, but I don't think anyone was expecting his next opponent to be Conor Benn. Both of these fighters are similar in the sense that they've had some very controversial careers. Both of them were heading into stardom but were popped for taking steroids. Ryan Garcia got popped after his fight with Devin Haney, which got ruled a no contest, and Conor Benn would test positive in 2022, forcing him to stop boxing for almost a year. Although these guys may not be the best in the world pound for pound, they are probably the most entertaining boxers outside of the ring because of their energy and personalities. This is what makes this fight so highly anticipated with the fans. It definitely has the potential to be one of the biggest super fights of the year, but the question is, would this fight even be competitive? Will this fight be close? I believe there is a big difference between Ryan Garcia and Conor Benn, and I think the difference is so big that the fight won't even be close. This is why Ryan Garcia is levels above Conor Benn. Before we begin, if you like this kind of content, then be sure to like and subscribe because it really helps the channel out. To look at how this fight would go, we first need to check out their stats. Ryan Garcia is 5'8.5" with a 70-inch reach, and he's got a record of 25-2 with 20 knockouts, making that an 80% knockout rate. Conor Benn is 5'8" with a 68-inch reach. He's got a record of 25-1 with 14 knockouts, giving him a 56% knockout rate. At first glance, both of these boxers have taken losses at a high level, and they have very similar reach, but one boxer clearly has a lot more power than the other. On top of that, Ryan also has a slight advantage in build, being slightly taller and longer. On paper, this might not seem like much, but at this level, every advantage can lead to something big. The thing with boxing is, just because you're taller, it doesn't make you better. So in order to decide who's the better boxer, let's go over their resume. They are both deep into their careers, having both lost, but their level of competition is worlds apart. Conor Benn has fought between 140 to 160 pounds and has never won a belt. He's never challenged for a regional title, like maybe an English title, let alone a world title. A lot of his opponents have been carefully selected for him to beat. On the other hand, Ryan Garcia has fought at a high level of competition from lightweight all the way up to welterweight. He's won multiple belts across these weight classes, starting with the NABO belts at super featherweight before winning his first world title at lightweight, knocking out Luke Campbell to become the interim WBC lightweight champion. He has also challenged for the WBA belt against Gervonta Davis in a highly anticipated fight where he came up short, and technically he beat Devin Haney for his WBC super lightweight title. This of course was stripped after he tested positive for steroids, and just recently he won the WBC welterweight title from Mario Barrios. Now, going over their level of competition, let's go over the former champions both of these guys have faced. Conor Benn has never faced an active champion and has only faced former champions out of their prime. This includes Chris Algieri and Regis Prograis. There's also Chris Eubank Jr. and Chris Van Heerden, but these guys won IBO titles and the IBO isn't recognized yet as a legitimate world title. All of these guys were years out of their prime, and all four of them retired after fighting Conor Benn. Compared to this, Ryan Garcia has fought many former and active world champions like Javier Fortuna, Gervonta Davis, Devin Haney, Rolando Romero, Marius Barrios, and Luke Campbell, who never won a world title but won a gold medal at the Olympics. From looking at this, Ryan definitely has the stronger resume, but we can't just look at only resume. What are their styles like, and what skills do they have for each other? Ryan Garcia is best known for his incredible hand speed. He's always been fast, and speed kills. He's probably got the fastest hands in boxing right now. He also has an incredible left hook, which is a real danger to anyone near his weight. Most of his knockouts have come from the left hook. It's definitely his signature punch, and he has great accuracy with it, finding angles to land the left hook to his opponent's livers or to the top of their head right above their guard. It could be argued that a few years ago this was all he had, but after building up his experience at a high level, his footwork has become strong and he's always at just the right range to fire, and he's able to step back out of range when he needs space. His jab is also great for finding distance and setting up his power shots. We saw this when he fought Devin Haney, as he was able to use his jab to find his distance for the left hook. He also showed a variety of different punches against Mario Barrios, scoring with great right hands and not just the left hook. He still has a lack of defense with his head movement being minimal, but his footwork is good enough to allow him to stay out of range of most punches. On the other side of this, Conor Benn is very one-dimensional. He's aggressive and is great at closing distance and likes to sustain pressure by attacking the body, but he's easy to hit since he's constantly moving forwards, which puts him in real danger of Ryan's power shots. We saw this in his fights against Chris Eubank Jr., where they were basically just slugging it out and Conor managed to sustain his pressure to come out on top. Conor doesn't fight any different to this, whereas Ryan has had to change his approach to match different opponents. Ryan can switch up his tactics to box and move or pressure forwards once he hurts Conor, whereas Conor only knows to come forwards and try to exchange mid to close range. This is not to say that Conor can't develop a deeper skill set to one day find more routes to winning a fight, but as of right now, we haven't seen him take a different approach in any of his fights. One really important detail that isn't being highlighted a lot is weight. Ryan comfortably makes 147 because it's the heaviest weight class he's fought at, so he doesn't really need to cut too much weight, but Conor has been fighting at 160 for the past 2 years. His fights against Chris Eubank Jr. were at 160 and he didn't look fat. He filled out his frame, and a few months ago he fought Regis Prograis at 150, but this was Prograis past his prime. There's doubts as to whether Conor is going to be able to make the 147 pound limit, and even if he does, having to lose that much weight can have a serious impact on your nervous system. If he's able to make the weight comfortably, he could come into the ring bigger and stronger than Ryan, but what is probably going to happen is his punch resistance is going to go down. The reason for this is because fighters typically make weight by dehydrating, and dehydrating reduces the fluid cushioning the brain. He's also going to have lower stamina because dehydration also depletes glycogen and electrolytes. This is a recipe for disaster because Benn's style relies on a high work rate, and he's the type of fighter who gets hit to get hits in. I think there's a good chance that Ryan Garcia stops Conor in the later rounds when he starts to gas out, and even though this fight is huge, I don't think it's going to be anywhere near as competitive as people think. That's not to say that Conor Benn doesn't have the potential to become a world champion, but currently he hasn't shown the skills he needs to get past Ryan to win the WBC belt. I would like to see Conor fight Teofimo Lopez because Teo is likely to try and exchange with Conor, and this could lead to a lot of action. The welterweight division is stacked right now, and I don't think Conor could beat any of the other champions. I'd like to see Ryan get a rematch with Devin Haney because both of them are currently active champions and they could unify. I feel like Devin really underestimated Ryan last time, and maybe a rematch between these guys could settle the score. Ryan definitely has what it takes to become undisputed at welterweight. And in terms of this fight with Conor Benn, what do you guys think? How do you think it goes? I don't think it will be close because both of these guys are on completely different levels.